How did you design Ushur Studio through a customer-first lens?
This is a really complex user journey, and it was really important to us that we focus on each leg of that user journey so that our users could easily and seamlessly move from building to launching and tracking, and so that it felt natural and intuitive. Traditionally, these three legs of the user journey would map to 2 or 3 different individuals in an organization. And it was really critical to us that all the capabilities were accessible to each and every user without any kind of handoffs or domain expertise or an entire team required to put these automations together. This meant that we really needed to guide our users and educate them on how to perform each of these tasks. So to begin, we implemented an onboarding tutorial that walked the users through each of these steps through using a simple use case. The tutorial helps them understand what they're seeing, helps them make simple modifications to the automation, and guides them between each of those different steps. So by keeping it really simple and providing just enough guidance to demonstrate the capabilities of the platform, we're able to really help them understand all the core capabilities while simultaneously demystifying some aspects of the journey that they may not feel comfortable doing for the first time.
Which aspects of the user experience were complex but critical to get right?
Yeah, absolutely. Given that we're industry leaders in both AI and automation, it's easy to see how powerful and complex Ushur's platform can be. And the technology is incredible. It's modular, it's scalable, and uses a lot of cutting-edge AI. So the biggest challenge for us was to make sure that all the capabilities of the studio were accessible and available to our users in a way that's frictionless and easy to understand. And the only way to really realize this dream was to make it so that anybody within an organization can leverage customer experience automation and streamline their workflows to create better end user experiences. So we set a really ambitious goal to reach this. And that goal was to make sure that new customers could sign up, build, and launch their first campaigns within just a matter of minutes. So you can think of it like using training wheels to learn to ride a bike. At first you may need a little bit of help discovering your balance, your confidence, but quickly you'll pick it up and get the fundamentals and the techniques to be cruising. We thought about the Ushur platform in this Ushur Studio in the same way. It's important to us that users have the opportunity to first learn in a guided environment so that they can feel empowered right out the gate. Because once you feel the wind in your hair and the freedom of an open road, it's really hard to shake that feeling of delight. And this is really one of our really early North Star metrics to ensure that our focus was always on the end user and delivering value to them and fast.
How can automations be context-aware and empathetic for sensitive situations?
Yeah, absolutely. This is really important because the automations that our users build on Ushur Studio, they represent their brand and business. Like you mentioned, some automations are more routine, like changing the dress in some system, but others can be quite sensitive, like something related to a medical issue or an injury, an accident. And so it's really important that our brands can represent themselves in a way that's appropriate to their customers. So there's basic things you can customize like branding, colors, logos, but we wanted to take it a step deeper. And so the AI in the product, in the Ushur Studio, helps our users craft the kind of language that will best serve the needs of their end users. And so our users go into the studio to build a completely custom engagement using the drag and drop builder. And then the AI and the customization capabilities allow them to form that experience in a way that feels more natural and more human. With automation, there's always a risk to building something that feels a little too structured or too rigid. And so it was important that we give our users the ability to make that feel more human and represent their brand in the way that they're accustomed to representing it, in marketing and the way that their customer support representatives talk to their users. All these experiences can be really highly catered, and there's a lot of training that goes into making sure that the tone and the language used is appropriate for the need. And the Ushur Studio has features built in with supplemental AI to help citizen developers build automations that have the same kind of characteristics that you'd expect from any kind of engagement with the customer.
How do you balance simplicity in UX when the underlying technology becomes increasingly complex?
Yeah, I think the entire industry is grappling with this challenge, and so the way that we approached it was through a commitment to our customers that the entire platform would be accessible and usable and powerful for anybody within the organization. There are tactics that we use to maintain a low bar of entry for new users, like using language that doesn't require prior technical knowledge or jargon in a way that feels both natural and comfortable, using simple repeating UI patterns that are enshrined in our design system so that any new features or new interfaces feel familiar and easy to learn. Displaying in-app feedback to acknowledge user actions, implementing a robust notification framework so that we can provide visibility into system behavior behind the scenes, and baking in feature-level educational guides supporting both documentation directly into the product when it's needed, and also a robust framework so that questions can be answered in a way that's intuitive and feels like it fits directly back into the platform. If I could bring up one example, the navigation is a really great case study that illustrates just how many of these principles are put into practice. It's a really simple and highly structured navigation that guides users from step to step in their journey so that they're not having to jump around the platform to figure out what comes next. Each page in Ushur Studio represents and presents itself with both purpose and aligns with user intent so that each feature and each function has a natural home.
What additional factors should be considered when shifting to a digital strategy?
In the same way that our product experience team iterates and learns from real users to improve the product over time, I want to encourage our users to do the same thing. So what that means is create a campaign, test it with a small cohort, whether internally or even externally with customers, and then use the built-in analytics to analyze and inform your roadmap for improvements. And it's important to understand that customer groups are generally not monoliths. To have a successful customer engagement strategy, it's really critical that you welcome and understand the nuances of how different people will behave and engage with your automation in different ways. So what that boils down to is that empathy and understanding are especially important when providing self-serve automation to solve problems, because it's important that we're flexible so that we can understand human behavior and all the nuances between individuals. Most modern businesses have a lot of personas that they serve, and this can be both a challenge and an opportunity for the business. A challenge because automation must serve all of those personas effectively, which can be really tricky to implement. But it's an opportunity because any kind of heuristics or insights derived from the analysis of how these automations are being interacted with by our users can lead to a wealth of knowledge to help your business better understand and connect with those same customers.
No, that's such an important point you bring up, Gagan. Really looking at the analytics and diving into the data of how customers are interacting with these different digital journey paths that are being built. Thank you so much for spending time with us and giving us a little window into your world of product design and showing us what it really takes to make advanced technology easy to consume.
Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm really excited to see how our customers receive the Ushur Studio. I know a lot of time and effort has gone into this, and I'm really excited to see the value that we built out in the world and in people's hands.
Thank you very much. And if you want to try Ushur Studio for free, go ahead on our website and sign up for a free trial.